Hello, welcome back to Just for Today. I'm Jamal Normie.
Hey, I'm Miranda, the recovering addict.
And today we're going to talk about depression. First thing that we got a scripture. Go.
Today's scripture comes from Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Alright, yeah, we can tie to anything. We can do everything with God strengthening us. So depression. Depression's a big one. What are you going through right now? Let's go to that.
Like I'm depressed. I don't know. It's like, and it's been going on for the past month. I thought it was like, because Ariana's birthday was here, and I always get depressed around holidays, celebrations, family events, things like that, because it ties me back to how things used to be. And so, I thought, I'm like, okay, I'll get over it. I don't know, but it's just been lingering. Just one thing after another, just my emotions. I just get in my thoughts, my feelings. I'm sad. I get sad and depressed about how things used to be, how happy, like the joy feelings that I used to get, and that, we talked about serotonin, I think one time, or no, we did dopamine, but by default, like I don't have that natural serotonin. Or at least it's barely there, and it's harder for me to get those happy feelings. So I kind of like forget about it, and then once I focus on it, and it's like that's all I'm focusing on. And so past like 3 weeks, I'm hardcore, just like praying to God just to give me strength, to get me through this. And I even thought about it like, okay, I need to get into therapy. Do I need to get on medication? It crossed my mind about getting on medication, but I've learned other tools to get through my depression, but it just sucks. You put on this face, you put this happy face on, like I don't want to go to work, I don't want to get up, I don't want to go to church, I don't want to participate, I don't want to film, I don't want to, be a parent, I don't want to pretend, I don't want to put on this fake smile, but I do. But that's what gets you through the day, just like, okay, you don't want to wake up, okay, you got up, you're getting ready. Well, you're already up and ready, so just move forward, you get to work and you just gotta pray throughout the day. And, it just sucks.
Yeah. Depression comes in many different forms and sizes. And also, real quick, so medication, if you need it, you should take it. Like, I know that there's addict that their issue is using drugs and things like that, but this is different. I don't know,
and it legitimately can help you.
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't put on medication when I was first going through getting clean, like that's helped save me, and I didn't, and I hesitated, like I refused to get on antidepressants because of everything that we hear. I don't want to get dependent. I don't want to have suicidal thoughts. I don't, you think about all those side effects that you hear. And I remember my doctor, again, talk to your doctor. She explained it to me. She's like, Miranda, it's only temporary. It's to get you through this, and I was going through some hardcore stuff during that time, not just like one thing. It was like a bunch of things happening at once. And that's what made me think this time, like, okay, yeah, I'm depressed, but can I handle it? Am I going towards dangerous thoughts, And that's the deciding factor. You have to understand when you need help, and it's okay to get outside help, even if it's just temporary or even if it's long term. It's important to get your mental health checked out.
Yeah, so don't be afraid about meds. You have to consult your doctor. I was just thinking about that when we went to the psychiatrist or whatever, and how, to me, that felt like you're just a number. It's just very, not looking at this piece of paper and just writing down stuff you're told them, and they're like, all right, take this. But you have to consult with your doctor also. We all need a primary doctor that we go to that we can get information on stuff like that for, because you can't just do it on your own. Like you
need a whole group of people.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the psychiatrist, basically, it's unfortunately in Nevada or here in Vegas, I thought psychiatry, like, I thought it was like therapy too, you know, like, or you sit on the couch in a shrink and you talk about it. That's more of like therapy, that's more counseling. So, fortunately, yeah, the psych puts you on meds and just asks you how you're doing. Of course, all you can say is, I'm fine, oh yeah, it's working, or, you know, whatnot. And that's why, you know, I had therapy, I had counseling, and that was the golden ticket as well, like, to talk about it.
It's different parts to that puzzle. I always thought that was just the one. You go in there and, oh yeah, you know,
It's dangerous.
Yeah, but there's different parts to it, and their job. Like, you gotta think about what you do for your job. Like, you're working at McDonald's. You're not there necessarily to make friends per se. That's your job. You know, you're flipping burgers. Like, people, you know, everybody. Always thinking about like health people. Like, that's their job. Like, they don't need to be there 24/7. You know, doing all this stuff. That's their work. You have your work, and you treat it appropriately. They have their work, and they treat it appropriately. So I kind of get it. I get it, but I also see I'm just a number to these people, you know, side of things, and that can lead down a whole other path. But you got to understand there's different parts. That's not just that one part. Depression comes in many forms, though. It's not so there's sadness, and then there's depression. Like, just because somebody dies, you'll be sad. Like, you're going through the stages of grief and things. That doesn't mean necessarily that you're depressed. Like, depressed is this whole other thing that I never really thought about until you really. Like you legitimately have, one of the ways is like you have your chemicals are going, not even just you, like also with our friend. You know, you have chemicals in your brain telling you that they're off. You know, they're firing, misfiring, and you know, whether depression, bipolar, you know, you're happy and you're sad, you're happy and you're sad, like being on this roller coaster every day, like it's a real thing. It's not just, oh, you're a girl and you're crazy. Oh, you know, your feelings.
And speaking of that, like, your hormones do play a part in it. Yeah. Like, yeah, definitely.
They do.
Yeah, it's scary how much they can participate in your mental health.
Yeah. But then I think, so mental health is, in general with people, like, when you have a problem, something mentally, whether it's depression or, you know, like porn or like addiction or whatever, like there is a balance that we all need to check. Like, oh, I'm a man, I'm so strong, and I'm never going to be sad. No, we all like, you have to cry regularly, not regularly, but there's a time for letting it release. Like, I don't care how tough you are, like, there's going to be times, if you don't, then you're going to blow it up someday. Like, there is a balance that we all have to check ourselves.
You have to go through the emotions.
Yeah, you have to go through it.
Like, when they happen.
Yeah. Like, or, you know, yeah, like, you can set at times and go through things. Like, sometimes even, like, I'll be listening to a song and just, like, just because it's like, what the world? That doesn't even, you know, it just hits that chord because you're not regulating yourself. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we all have to have mental health just as important as physical health. You have to eat healthy and exercise and all that stuff. You have to do that same thing with your brain. But also, like, that also gets me into, that's the reason why guys and women are made for each other. Like, there's a balance that happens between you and your spouse too. Like, so guys aren't as emotional per se, you know, we're built differently. Like, you guys are built to have kids and to be that sympathetic, and, you know, not to say guys can't be sympathetic, but you guys are literally built different, so are we. So it's not simply as saying, oh, you're a girl, you're emotional. No, they're built differently. You know, they are in tune with their, you know, not necessarily in tune, because we should all be in tune, but there's an emotional side of things. Their brains are built differently to an extent, and maybe more be acceptable to these things happening, you know, depression and things like that. I was talking with my friends, and then, like, he's dealing with his wife is depressed, and, like, we went, like, a while ago, I had this trip with this job that I had to go out of town on, and we didn't know anything about depression and things, and then we left. I don't know if he was married at the time or if his girlfriend was married to her, and she was going through things, had to get checked into the hospital and stuff, and we left, for 2-3 days or whatever, and on my little trip, having fun and everything. Meanwhile, his wife is going through all this crazy stuff. Now, we learn as we go along, but before, we just thought, it's girl problems. Girls, you're tripping. Like, go take a nap, or whatever. But thinking back, when I talk about this, like, yeah, it's a big deal.
And also, that triggers us. Like, when we're going through our downs, right, we feel so alone. And so even though we might say, oh, we don't need anything, I'm fine, we do need something. And the fact, and I put myself in that situation, and that's happened to me, to when you're so low, and then, if you were to say, all right, well, I'm just going to let her handle it, just let her cool off, that pushes me overboard. Like, if we're going through a situation and you just leave, and then you're left alone in those thoughts and those feelings, like, it's just, I don't know, it's scary, it's dangerous, and like that, to where that might not have happened had he had known, and he would have stayed there and supported her. Not even just supporting her, just being in the same house, just her knowing that, like, okay, he's 5 feet away, like that makes a difference. Unfortunately, we tend to exaggerate things, so I know I do that.
Exaggerate and under-exaggerate, because I don't know how many of you men out there ask your girl what's wrong, and they go, nothing. Like, stop
that's
lying.
the way we communicate. When we say nothing's wrong, what's wrong? Nothing.
That means that something's wrong.
Yes,
like, we gotta have like a translation thing, like a decoder. Like, okay, so this is check, this is check. Oh wait, they're having a problem.
I mean, that's known now. Like, if a woman says,
no,
"What do you want to eat?" I don't know. And if you bring up something, they're gonna be like, "No, I don't want that."
Yeah, yeah. Say what you mean and mean what you say. It doesn't make any sense.
That's not how it
Just
works. Complicated. Because it's just so many things that are going on, and it's hard for us for me.
It's a prideful thing.
No.
Yeah, like, you don't want.
No.
You don't think it's
pride?
pride?
It's not pride. No, not
What
at
is
all.
it? What do you do?
It's just so much going on, whether it's like mentally, emotionally, physically, like hormonally, like they're just we can't read ourselves, like I know there's times where you ask me, like, what's wrong? Nothing. It's because I don't want to talk about it at that time.
You don't want to talk about it.
But I do want to talk about it because I need to get it out. And if I don't
exactly,
get it out,
that's what I'm saying. It's pride. Like, your pride is saying, like, pride is so many different things. That's kind of oversimplification, but pride is so many different things. Like, I can handle this myself, or
no,
I know.
No. I know what you're saying, but I'm check marking. No, that's not.
Or something's wrong. So it's not that you don't know anything's wrong, but you don't want to admit.
I want to stay mad. That's what it is. For me personally.
That's pride.
Because staying mad or like being in my feeling, it's control. It's me having control over my emotions.
But not okay, I'm not saying in the mad sense, but like when you're sad and I could tell something's going on, and then you're like, no, nothing's wrong, and I know there's something wrong. Like, you don't want to admit that there's something wrong. Like, you want to, that's
sad is different than mad for me.
Yeah,
mad, I have it just kind of to control me, and like sad, I guess you are. That's pride for me.
Yeah,
for me anyway.
I
didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I can break it down. But we as a people, we need to get educated on things. Like, we don't know these things, and we don't research these things, and we just like go around our life and just want to be happy. But it also starts, like I was saying, there's so many different levels of depression. Like, society in general, like, I keep coming back to it, is set up in a way that we're just going to be set. Like, you're going to your Monday through Friday every day, doing the same thing. Low key, you're depressed because it's not what you're supposed to be doing. It's not what you want to be doing. Like, you don't feel like you're making that difference, or you don't feel connected to your work. Most people, like 90% of people, there's like the top 3% that have all the money and blah blah blah. But
it's not about money. It's just doing what you enjoy doing.
Yeah, but doing what you enjoy doing may not make money, or you don't know enough.
That's where the issue is. Like, I can't do what I enjoy doing because I can't survive off of what it would pay. So I have to do a 9-to-5 that I semi-enjoy so I can make ends meet.
That too, or you don't know, you're not the way that our school system works. Like, we don't learn
Yeah.
like the basic stuff that we never gonna use again. That shouldn't be that way. You go to school, you should learn something, and it should be something that carries on. You know, we don't learn about like different jobs. Like, I take on a lot of different jobs because I just don't know how that job is. You know, I like to learn about things. We should all have that drive, like school. You know, but anyway, we go to this 9 to 5, doing something we don't like doing every day, and then getting up, and oh my gosh, it's Monday, oh my gosh, I gotta get up. You know, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, you start feeling better, a little bit better, then by Friday, it's like, oh, I'm off, I can't wait to be off. And then you have your weekend, and then it starts over again. Like, your entire life is filled with doing something you don't want to do, and it's not productive, and money, the ratio to how much things cost to how much you're making, like, you can't live off of, what's it called? The money, basic. What's it called? What is it called?
Minimum wage.
Minimum wage. You can't live, like, people can't live off of that. And people are going to say, oh, that's, minimum wage is supposed to be what kids make. No, it's not. Minimum wage should be, is the minimum amount of money that it costs to live. And you cannot survive off of minimum wage. It's impossible. Like, there should be a kid's wage, sure, but minimum wage, which is offered everywhere, should be what it costs to live. Like, you should be able to be one person, live, and not have any issues. But that's societies, right? So depressed, you get depressed, America. You get depressed without even knowing you're depressed because you're not happy, you know. And that's like another. It's not always just chemicals. It's like things like that, or a trauma that happened that always reminds you, seasonal. Like you were saying, these things have like Christmas. Every Christmas I get sad because my mom was there, my mom's dead, or my child died on this date, and I was in this sort of atmosphere. Now I'm sad every time this happens. Like, there's so many different triggers.
And it's normal to have those feelings, and it's okay to mourn or to celebrate those, timelines, but
it's not okay though to take it so we need to be aware of ourselves. It's not okay to take it out on other people or other people to bring down other people. Like, we need to be aware of our issues, fess up to them, and then seek help for those things.
And I think that's why I have my about this. So I'm not talking about it. I'm just keeping it in. I'm just praying, and I'm not talking about it. And that's what's really digging my hole.
You know how much release there is in talking about something? That's why that's why what are they, therapists make so much money, or psychologists? I get it mixed up. The therapist, the one who goes sit on the couch. Psychologists make so much money because all you're doing is going there and talking to these people. I mean, they have a key per se that they learn how to unlock things, but there's power in just releasing, just being able to talk, getting something off your chest. Like these people that kill people, right, and get away with it, end up going to jail because it bothers them so much, like it weighs them down, and then they eventually need to talk about it. Like, we need to talk about things as much as you might think otherwise. Like, you need to release these things. You can't just hold stuff in. If you're going to blow up, or it's going to come out the wrong way, or you're going to hurt somebody, or whatever the case is. Like, that's how we're made. And then having the tools, so medication, going to church. Like, God, a lot of people think that, so on the other side of the fence, that God is like the cure. He is the cure, but you gotta remember though also, he made doctors. He made this process happen. That gave them the mind to be able to make medications and things like that. So it's not just, given God isn't doing it, then that's meant for them. That's meant for them to suffer or die. No, he's given us the tools, allowed us to have the tools. Like, we can't put everything on his shoulders to an extent. Like, you gotta help yourself too. Like, pretty sure, definitely pray and do that sort of thing. But he's given us people to talk to. He's given us medications. He's given us all these things to help ourselves. Like, we can't put everything tying back. You can't blame God for everything. Like, take your responsibility.
What's that story about the boat where like you're drowning or something, and where God's like, I sent you a boat and you didn't take it?
Oh yeah, I forgot what it is. I sent you, because we're not recognizing that
Right.
God's sending us these signs, this boat, this, you know, you're out in the middle of the ocean drowning, and you're like, God, why are you letting me drown? You know, what are you doing? He's like, I sent you a boat, I sent you a raft, there was a whale that you could have, you know, all these different things that could have said it, but we want it to be our way, is what it is. Like, we want it to be done our way and by our team, but we're not, or we're not trained to recognize these boats and these things, this life raft. So, you know, we have to educate ourselves. That's where we need to start. And then going on from there, we can't just assume that we know better because of what we saw on TV. Gosh, TV, that's a whole other topic. TV just ruins everything for everybody, I think. What we see on there and what we think things are supposed to be like. Yeah. That's a topic for another day. So in short, depression, it sucks. There is help though. Take the help where it comes. But alright, that's all the time we have just for today. Are you depressed? Do you know you're depressed? You might be depressed and not even know about it. Be sure to, I'm just gonna say, talk to somebody. We should all talk to somebody at some point. What do you think about all this? Leave a comment below. Let us know. Let's have a detailed conversation. But like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all the things. Most importantly, remember to keep coming back.
Stay clean.
Bye.
Because I wonder how we don't do anything. Next week we have a youth thing on Saturday.
What youth thing? Test.
And nobody shows up too.
Just
tell me when and where and I'll show up.
Everybody wants to do that though. Somebody has to do something or nothing's gonna get done. Pray? Only you. You know how to pray?
No.
You know how to pray? I'm telling my dad so he can start.
No.
Ask you to pray about it.
You better not.
You know.
I promise you.
You know how to pray. Look at you. Look at you.
Yeah, because it's just me and you. You put any third person in here, I'm done.
Hello.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. What'd you do? What'd you do that for?
Oh, that's not strength. Did you do that again? Like, did you say that? Did you stop your scripture?
All things through Christ who strengthens me.
Nah, you see it?
I can't see.
What are your glasses? Anyway, back to